Hey, everyone's bopping away, everybody. Welcome to Fourever Rivals. Proudly brought to you by the Jumper Punch and Snits Northlands. Become a member and you will receive 25% off. Before we get going, let's just say hello to this bloke, Omar. Thank you. He became a member today. So thanks, Omar, man. It's you guys that make this possible. And we have another one too. Sandy became a YouTube member too. So thank you very much, guys, man. Hope you enjoy the benefits. And as I said, it isn't possible without you blokes watching us, or else it will be just four blokes lonely in their basement talking to each other. So here we go. We got already a few people on. So if Keen, what do we got here? Evening all. Oh, here we go. We love this bloke. I'm going to say hi. This is bloke. No regrets. Rocco up. He's a big fan of the Jumper Punch. He comes on. So, well done to No Regrets, and now go and get fucked. All right. Here we go. Oh, wait a sec. One more for No Regrets. This is for you. Let's go, Manny. Rip, Mark, and Rocco, a new one, like how Nick tore. Aston done a new one. All right. Here we go. We're starting. I like it. All right, guys. Everyone doing well?
Fantastic, mate.
Good evening, all.
I've lost my voice.
What'd you do? Screaming from your place?
Mate, listen, absolutely amazing, but we'll talk about it later.
We will. There's plenty to talk about, and we are sure we will be getting into it. So what we're going to do is, as usual, because we've got four of the most intellectual brains in football here, we are going to talk about a couple of issues, right? And let's start with this one here, and let's have a look at this. All right. Can you see that, Quinny?
No, nothing's popping up.
Oh, well, it's up on screen. I don't know why it's not popping up to you guys, but it's up there. It's AFL pushing for players. You can see it pushing for players to be traded against their will in a major shake-up to player movement. In what could be a major shake-up to AFL trade landscape, the league is pushing for players to be moved against their will. What do you reckon, guys? What do you reckon about this? I'm keen to hear what everyone's thinking.
I'll just be brief. The club should have the choice of where the player needs to go. Unless you're a free agent, which is free agent, then you're a free agent. You can choose to where you want to go. But it's get to a stage where I reckon the clubs needs to make some executive decision on to say where that player needs to go, because that they take a lot of time and effort and money to get that player. It's just too easy for them to say, I want to go to Collingwood, or I want to go to Essendon or Geelong. So that's my thought quickly about it. Is just, yes, I think eventually it'll get to a stage where the club will make a decision on where that player goes. But if you're a free agent, you're a free agent. You're free.
Yep. That's fair enough. That's very, very well said. What about you, Quinn? You can go next.
Yeah, I see exactly where you're coming from, Mark, and I know what you're saying as well, where the club needs to have some sort of pull at some point with all the investment they've put in particular players and saying, nah, we're going to get you, you're going here so we can get this back in return.
Correct.
Et cetera, et cetera. I'm not sure if our game is quite ready for it, though. You see it happen in the NBA now where mid-game players are getting traded. I've seen someone sitting on the bench find out that the next day he's moving across country and playing for another team. The only reason I say this one is compared to all of us four and probably a lot of people watching, these AFL players make good coin, real good coin. I don't know if it's enough to just be able to ship someone off and say, you know what, tomorrow you're moving from Sydney to WA and that's where you're going to be for, until they get rid of you or however long. So I think it would eventually head down that path, but I think we're a little bit off. I just think our players don't earn quite enough yet to be able to make those sort of big calls because they might not be able to compensate for it just yet.
Yeah. It might not be that contract of going to, say, West Coast, and if the club's not happy or the player's not happy in some ways, but they might go to another club. So they've always got options. It's not about, you've got to go to West Coast for this. It's more about, negotiating with other clubs as well, but to the benefit of the club, which is most important. That's how I see it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think with the Players Association as well and the way that's headed, I don't know. I just feel they're going to put up such a fight with that because the way that the players have all the rights at the moment. The club basically have no say at the way it is, and exactly. I think we almost need to try and find a perfect medium where the clubs do get more of a say, but I don't want it to completely switch where the players then have no say anymore, because I think it is a nice part of our game that the players do have some sort of say in where they go, and that where they end up, they will be passionate about playing there a lot of the time as well. Whereas you see the NBA players move that often. They're there because they're getting good coin, and that you'll play well because you're in the highest competition. But there's not as much passion, I don't feel, anyway. So I think if we can find a perfect medium where there's a bit of say from the clubs and a bit of say from the players, and they can come together more often than not, I think that's probably the best place for the game.
Yeah.
We got a good comment here. Sammy D. Rocco can piss everyone off to the bush. I'm telling you, I'm fucking not disagreeing with that statement this week. I agree and disagree, if that makes sense. So the question is, right, who should have the power here, the club or the players? You know what I mean? Is the club bigger than the players? I think that the club should have that power if they want to ship off someone. Because at the moment, the player really has all the power, even if he signs a contract. Right, and then decides to go, right? What happens? Like, the club can't keep him. I mean, there's been times when, they keep him along, they're not happy. You know what I mean? I think the club should have the power to say, right, we got to do this for the club. We've got to do this for the members, and it's time to go, And anyway, that's my thought. I think it'll be a good thing. But as Quinn said, there's got to be some sort of rules. I mean, you can't do it at half time in round 7, you know what I mean? It has to be. I think there would have to be a time when they could do it, maybe the halfway, like halfway through the season when they have the trade. They're also talking about what was it about the trade in what was it? Now I'm anyway. Go, Manny. Have you got any ideas?
Well, my question is, where's this word loyalty coming to it? Where is loyalty coming into it? Because as far as I'm concerned, the moment you decide you want to, you got a lot of players that don't play enough but are passionate and they're loyal to a club, right? And all of a sudden, they decide, time to ship you over here and there. I mean, you're going to end up losing, history. Look at Silvani. You had the grandfather, you had the son, and now you've got the grandson. You're going to lose all that. Look at Dacos. He's got his boys in there. You're going to lose that. If the clubs want to do what they want to do, it's about loyalty, passion. It's about, for them it's just, and I can tell you right now, the AFL doesn't care about anybody except for the AFL, all right? And there are people who pay a lot of money for memberships, who support their teams, support their clubs, and all of a sudden the AFL wants to run a business, and that's all it is. It's about running a business. I remember there was a period in the 90s when you had the West Coast Eagles. They were dominating. Why were they dominating? Because they had a lot of young talent that was coming out of that area, and that's what they were doing. They were just pushing. The AFL's running a business. That's all they're doing.
I sadly, and as always, disagree with you, Manny, because the loyalty, you can jam up your ass. Because as a supporter, I don't really give a fuck about loyalty. What I care about is for my club to succeed. And I put those people in charge to make the right decisions. And if the right decision is to ship someone off, to get someone in there so we can win, well, so be it. Because I'm telling you, loyalty isn't going to win you any premierships. I'll tell you now.
Yeah, but this is what I'm talking about. They're not playing for the jumper anymore. You know what I mean? The prime example is
they have it for 20 years, Manny.
Exactly. And the prime example is,
so how are you going to bring that back? It's time to move on, mate. It's time for the club to take, mate. It's up to them what they do. If they think it's a good idea to get someone off and get someone else in, I think they should do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you're talking about just loyalty because someone's been serviceable to the club, thank you very much. and I thank you as you're walking out the door. But at the end of the day, man, I want a premiership.
Well, while we're on that topic, here's one for you. Silvani, next year, you'll be at the Saints. Boom.
Oh, all right. That's what a statement. You come up with a bullshit
I'm
statement that's been in the media for like 6 months.
See.
And that's
they got to be at the Bombers.
That's it.
Unless you want to put your fucking money where your mouth is, which I know you don't. We weren't talking about that. Let's get on the second part of that, and it's the mid-season draft. You should be able to draft a player from a club and get him to another club halfway through the year. Should there be some sort of mid-season draft?
No.
What do you reckon? Yep.
I understand Manny's point of view, or where I think Manny's coming from, but I think yes, purely for the fact that you look at teams that, like, for example, Richmond, Collingwood, right, Manny? Both of us don't have a ruckman right now. We're struggling without a ruckman. We'll both get them back eventually, but if we have a ruckman that's out for the entire season, you don't have one, and then you look at Essendon and they've got a ruckman that isn't getting the game because Draper's keeping him out, you can bring him in. He's looking for game time. You're looking for a ruckman to fill that void. And you can fill that void and then potentially play finals because you've got this extra big player in. So I have reasons against, but I think I'm probably more towards it just for that reason, because you can fill gaps and you give players that otherwise aren't getting more opportunities.
Yeah. And it'd be those players that are
and if, for example, you had a couple of ruckmen and you lost them both, and then you got a chance to pick up a ruckman from another side and we're using a ruckman because that's the most obvious because there's only like a couple of positions. If you lose one, then you can get someone and he can get game time and he can help you out. Why wouldn't you do it? Like, I think it's a great idea. And also, even at the club giving the player, mate, he's thinking, I like what he's doing. He just can't fit in, give him a go somewhere else. So to me, I think it's a smart idea.
Are you guys referring to the players that are on the list, or just supplementary players? A player that's on the list.
Yeah.
So at the moment we've got the mid-season draft where we can pick up just local footballers, whatever. But now we're talking about pinching blokes from other clubs as well. Yeah.
No, I don't believe that. If you're on the list, mate, you play for the year and that's it. If there's players out there, like I think they've been doing it the last couple of years, where there might be a sup or something like that, or someone that's coming from the VFL or the local footy, yes, you can go get yourself a ruckman or a rover or a forward. But if they're on the list, mate, it's not right.
Why?
I can't see Andrew Phillips going to Richmond mid-season.
Why?
Well, because it's all about the money then, isn't it? It's all about them
It's not about the money. It's about giving this kid now. If he's not getting a game, it's giving him a chance.
He's playing. He's playing.
He's playing. All right, but this will be, of course, if it's not going to be your player that's in your 22 every week. Let's be serious, right?
But
we're talking about a player that's on your list but not getting a chance because he's in the reserves.
But that player, say for instance, Nick Bryan, that's playing in our reserves. He's a ruckman. He's killing it in the reserves, right? So Essendon is invested in that player.
But they don't have to do it, Essendon.
No,
Essendon don't have to do it. It's like if they make a decision that they want to trade and the player's happy with it, I can't see why there would be an issue, man. Like they don't have to do it.
Then we're going back to the choices of where the player wants to go. Yeah. So if Richmond come up to Essendon and say we want Nick Bryan mid-season, Essendon going to go, oh yeah, you can have him, but we want I don't know, some player that Richmond's got that
I agree with Mark. I agree with Mark 100%.
Well, flipping it back on you, Mark.
Players think about their performance. Think about it.
Yeah, well, obviously they're going to get their opportunity, but the club is invested in that time on that player to play reserves, and he's probably killing it. There's a player from Carlton. What's his name? He's playing in the seconds, Dowie or something.
Yeah,
he's smashing it. He's too good to be playing VFL.
Well, so we've given him chance after chance. He might get his chance.
He's too good to be playing VFL, right? He's taken 40 something. This is what I've been told. But so would you say mid-season Essendon go up and say, mate, we want this player? Would you just give him off like that, or would you go, no, hold on a minute?
Well, yeah, because at the moment, I don't think, I think we're going to try him out this week, but if I think we don't need him and all of a sudden Esther come along and say, listen, we're looking for a midfielder, like we've got Setterfield who's shit, right? And then we'll get Bowie.
You don't need
Bowie, and then, for example, oh my God, and then we get a ruckman, and then we do a swap. What would be wrong with that?
Well, what's wrong with it is that you want to get rid of him, but Essendon might not want to get rid of their player. So it's all about the money.
Then the deal doesn't get done, Mark.
That's right, exactly. But well, look, that's my reason.
The two things are different. I think the mid-season draft and the other one are different things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so Mark, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I was going to say, Mark, I'll flip it a little bit. So what was that ruckman's name you got in the VFL, sorry?
Nick Bryan.
Nick Bryan. All right. So, so for example, right, Richmond right now, no ruckman, right? And you guys have got Draper. Oh, sorry, we're the other way around. Just say Draper and Phillips are both injured right now. You've got no one on the park. And Richmond's got Ivan Soldo sitting on the sidelines, not really getting game time. Would you not want the opportunity to be able to bring him in? Because you might not be able to rely on someone like a Nick Martin, who's doing well in VFL, but you don't know if he's quite got it yet. You know what I mean? You get that chance. So I see where you're coming from as well. But like Rocco said, if the club doesn't agree, the deal doesn't have to get done at the end of the day.
It starts becoming like basketball now, mate. Like you were saying, mid-season, you can get a player to go somewhere, you know.
Yeah, no, it definitely does to an extent, but I don't mind the fact that it leaves people with more options, I think. So when you're like look at West Coast, for example. West Coast are bringing players back from who came back again from out of retirement to play in their VFL team? Was it Schofield? I think came out of retirement to play in their VFL side. Like they're riddled at the moment. I'm sure they'd love to sort of be able to pick up a couple of players from other clubs just to get them by throughout the year. So
that's due to the recruitments and their development and so forth. So
that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Loan your players.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
He may be loan your players.
Yeah,
well, it would be something like that. I just think sometimes your players don't get a chance to get a game, and if they can get a game somewhere else. I'll give you one thing, and it used to happen in the 70s. You say it never used to happen, but it did used to happen, right? And in the 70s, a player called Vinny Cottogio got loaned out to Western Australia for 2 years and then had some of his best football when he came back. So it has happened, and it can happen successfully.
Yeah.
So, like, I think if there's some sort of rules, I think it's a great idea. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's nice discussion to have. I like it. There was a little bit of robust discussion there. I like the different. I mean, you two are wrong, so I don't really care. But me and Quinn were right there. So there you go.
Yeah.
Say, Rocco, there were different leagues, though. Yeah, I understand there were different leagues, and again, it's just like it's just an example how it can work. You know what I mean? So, all right. That's good. At the moment, it's not happening. It's just a discussion. As I said, the Playing Association, the AFL are going to be talking about it, and we'll see what happens. Yeah. All right. There were some games on the weekend. Let's go straight to. We're going to look at the ladder, eh? Where is this ladder? Here it is.
We don't have to do that.
We have to do it. Here we go.
Come on, Queen. Don't be like that.
Here we go. As you can see, Collingwood is second, Essendon fourth, Carlton have dropped to eighth and ready to drop out, and Richmond is probably the lowest it's been for many, many years in 16th spot, 6 points, 90%. It's not looking good for Richmond. So there you go.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that, Quinn, mate. I haven't seen Richmond that low. Since what, the 80s maybe, or late 80s maybe, or something like that. But they're gonna have to do something. They're gonna have to do something, mate. They're in a bit of strife.
We're talking about mid 2000s, something like that.
With that idea,
we're talking about recent times, man. We're talking about recent times, mate. Now the question is going to be asked. Sorry, the question is going to be asked, Quinny, and now it's going to keep coming out about your two recruits, giving up those recruits. I know what you said last time. I agree with it. I'm not too sure. But that's going to keep coming, rearing its ugly head over. With every loss, it's going to keep coming out. You know that.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, again, it's still being raised, and you look, and Tim Taranto was arguably best on the ground against Melbourne the other night, you know, but I still saw articles about Richmond throwing away their future, which I still don't think we've done. I disagree, but I won't dive back into all that again. But, yeah, look, we're in a spot of bother, but I found a stat quite interesting. This time last year, we were only half a game better than what we are now because we had the 2 wins instead of 1 win and 1 draw. So, look, it's a long year. I'm not saying we're going to come back and do anything special, but, you know, never say never.
Yeah.
You're clinching into some thin straws there, mate. I think it's this year. The difference with this year is it's a more competitive competition, in my opinion. Because anyone in the top 8,
Manny. Every year it's competitive. You're just saying that happened this year.
Anyone in the top 8 can win the premiership this year.
You were saying that last year, man.
No,
you were saying that last year. Yes, you were. Round 4 or 5, you never bullshit. You never picked Geelong at fucking round 4 or 5 to win the premiership.
At round 5,
I was saying Carlton.
At round 5, I was saying Carlton. I was saying, remember, I said to you, in round 5, I said to you, Carlton was one of the hot favourites. I said it to you.
That's right. So how can you say it's more competitive?
Because
how can this year be more competitive than last year?
Because Carlton was one of the most outstanding looking sides.
But that's got nothing to do. You just said that this year is the most competitive. It's more competitive.
No, it's more competitive because there's no team that you can say, you know what, these guys are superstars.
Either there was last year. You're forgetting by round fucking 6, 7, there was no team that you could say was definite premiership champions. Come on, man. Again, you're talking rubbish, mate. What about when Melbourne did it? No one was picking Melbourne. Come on, mate.
Hey, listen, you reckon that me and Mark have got the concussion? I reckon they've got Alzheimer's.
I've got Alzheimer's. So tell me, if you're going to be smart about it, tell me what's the difference between this year and last year in the competitiveness.
Well, you've got teams like St Kilda that.
So what? Last year, teams like Fremantle had never made the fucking finals. Manny, you're just talking through your ass. Again, man, you're just trying to stop reading your books.
Well, last year St Kilda were 5-1, and then you make the finals. So
exactly. Last year St Kilda were up there at the start. You're talking shit, mate. Just because Collingwood's second, all of a sudden, it's more competitive than that. Jam it up your ass. Let's have a look at the first game. All right, was this the first game? Yeah, it was the first game for the week.
Oh!
And there you go. 8-12-60 to 12-10-82. There you go.
Shit.
What to say about it?
Carlton's gone back 20 years.
I don't know, about 20 years. They've definitely gone back, Manny.
They've gone back, mate. I know it. I know you're passionate about your club. I know you love your club, but they've got to do something about it. They've got to do something about it.
What am I going to do about it? I'm doing what I'm doing right now. What's the solution, Manny? Because everyone gives out their ideas, but if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem, just like you are in everything, right? Tell me what is the solution.
You guys need structure. The structure's not there yet, right?
Structure from where?
Right. Look at. I'll give you an example. Look at Curnow. He gets the ball, marks the ball, kicks from anywhere. He's got no sense of, you know what? Now I've got to position myself.
This is what I'm capable of doing. Manny, because if you said to me, you're talking shit, because if you said to me, McKay, then I would have listened to you. But Curnow's actually been very accurate. If you want to talk to me about structure, and now you're just trying to be smart, I'll give you structure. I'll give you exactly what's wrong with the team. I'll give you exactly, not your bullshit statement, trying to be funny, trying to be manny. It's not
no.
I'll give you structure. It's the delivery into the forward line. It's got nothing to do, he's going to kick it over. He can't get over there. It's got to do with delivery. It's got to do structure around the ball. It's got to do with the slow movement of the ball. It's got nothing to what you got to say. So you're talking shit again. I've come on here. I'm trying to give
There's
you
no accountability. There's no accountability.
From
No
who?
accountability.
From who?
Well, from you're telling me that your midfielders are the ones that are going to try and win this team. They're going to try and do something. Nothing at the moment. Nothing at the moment.
The guys are now that Manny's been shut down by Rocco, he'll go to the Carlton shit line. Take that out, pal, and move on.
Yeah. Good on you,
man, you're shown your ignorance about the game, about everything, and you again made yourself look like a fool.
I know that you're hurting right now, Rocco.
I'm not hurting at all. I'm hurting about Carlton, but I'm not hurting about you. You actually make me feel better, man. When I talk to you, it's like talking to I'm talking to my dog.
Hey, listen. What I'm saying is, Carlton at the moment, and they're just, I'm feeling sad for you guys.
No, you're not. Don't try to do that to me, Manny, because I've been working for you for 12 years, so it won't work. So if you want to talk serious about Carlton, talk about it, or shut up and let the others talk. Because really, I'm getting messages. Everyone's bored of your ignorance.
Come on. There you go. Come on. I want to listen.
Well, anyway, Rock, I did watch a little bit of this game. Yeah. And it's always about delivery, isn't it? It's always about the midfield delivery into the forwards. It's a perfect world.
Sorry, before you go there, if you look at our disposal over the weekend, it was below par. We kept missing targets by 1 or 2 meters.
Yes, but you had a lot of possessions though. A lot of the midfield had possessions. So it's about using the ball. Yeah.
What does that say?
To me,
if you have a lot of possessions,
you haven't got great players, you've got good
targets and that.
Yeah. Well,
I agree with no regret.
But even if they kicked the ball, it wasn't disposal, wasn't great. It's up in the forward line. You still got to have those forwards to contest and bring the ball to ground and look at your forwards.
This is the problem, mate. This is the problem, Mark. It's the way the ball was delivered. If you look at Curnow and McKay, they're always contesting the ball with 3 or 4 players. There wasn't one lead-up mark.
No.
There wasn't one lead-up mark to take a mark, right? So to me, this is about delivery. It's not about they're getting the ball. They're just not finishing it off. Now, is this coaching? Possibly. Is this the players not being smart enough? Possibly. And we're going to find out in the next 3 or 4 weeks. But I'm telling you, what I saw was the bad disposals, not hitting targets, right? The slow movement of ball, and then not delivering. And that's a lot of things to get right.
Yeah,
and it's a lot of things to get
and it's tough. But I won't go too statistically about it. But I've always said that if Curnow and McKay don't kick between 7 to 10 goals every game,
and that could be
you'll beat Carlton.
That could be an issue too, Mark. That could be an issue. Exactly. Instead of looking for another player, they're always looking for it. But that's game plan. That's game plan.
It's not working. It's not working.
And not knowing what to do with it.
Yeah.
All right, that's enough about me. I'm glad I had. Did you have anything to say?
I was at the game as well, so I had to keep close eye on it.
That's right. You went to the game.
Yeah, so I was there. A few of the points you touched on, Rocco, I agree. I think the ball use was poor, like Mike said. All the disposals that some of your stars racked up, it didn't obviously accumulate into.
We had 5 that racked up nearly 35 possessions plus.
Exactly,
and we didn't do anything with it. So what does that say?
Exactly. I do want to say as well, I think that I've seen some of the negativity surrounding the Blues, so especially coming from with Carlton supporters. I think it might be a little bit premature. I still think it's a long year and it's not as doom and gloom as people are saying. Yeah, I'm hearing a lot. But I think one of the biggest things that I noticed was the game style at the moment doesn't seem to be suiting the cattle that you've got on the park. And I reckon a lot of that, and tell me if I'm wrong, Rock, because you know better than me, but a lot of that I reckon has to do with the fact that Sard, Williams, there's no Doherty, there's no run off your halfback that's creating that pace through the middle of the ground, which last year was allowing Charlie and Harry to take so many marks on the lead too, because there was quick ball movement, not pushing off, where now it's slowed down and they don't quite know what to do with it. And it ends up being, here, just kick it on my head because that's all we can do. You held it up too much.
Thank you. So I'm glad someone with a bit of brain says something instead of.
Well, I agree.
That was exactly what happened. That was exactly what happened. And as I said,
I agree.
let me talk, Manny. Let me talk. That's exactly what happened.
Where's those soothers, mate? Where's those soothers?
I know, mate. Mate. Not even your throat wants to listen to you, mate. That's how shit too much talking, mate. Just let me say something. My God, I'm going to give you your chance. Right? As I said, it's the ball movement. It's the way it was going in. It's the over-possession and not hitting target. That's a good analytic of the game. Not Carlton was shit. Anyway, let's go to the next one because I'm sick of listening to you, man.
All I was going to say was that No Regret said that you guys need to learn to play simple football. That's what I was going to say.
I agree, and I agree with No Regret. And actually, No Regret is a very, very good analyst of the game, unlike you, Manny. All right, next one. This one here, sorry, but Queenie, mate, 15-6-96 to 11-12-78. Melbourne took the chocolates after you gave them a little bit of a run at the start, but they just showed their way at the end, yeah. And before we go on, I just want to do this to give you a little bit of let's give a bit of kudos to Jack Rewalt, 400 goals, third player to do it. And Jack Rewalt has been a star of not only Richmond, but the game. And I don't care what people say because he's disliked by a lot of people. I actually love his passion and the way he plays the game. But anyway, use lost, Quinny, and use a shit too.
Well, you couldn't beat us, Rock, so it doesn't say too much about you.
I'm saying use a shit too.
Oh, yeah, you did too. No, I appreciate the wrap-up about Jack. It's true. I could talk about Jack for the next 2 hours, but we don't have that much time. So I'll just say I agree with you and thank you for the sentiments. But
no, you're going to start.
Yeah, the game, I think most people expected that result. I think the margin was probably closer than a lot of people tipped. This is one of the only games I can remember I've walked out of not losing my mind at the fact that we blew another game in the last quarter. I was actually quite impressed with the way we went about it, especially with the first three quarters. I think we played that attacking style of football again. The pressure was high. And we moved the ball quick, Rock, exactly what we were talking about before. We haven't been doing it recently either, and we did it again on Monday night. I forgot what night it was. Monday night, we did it again, and it showed for three quarters. And then, look, a couple of goals missed first up in the fourth quarter probably cost us from some young guys. Ben Miller, Samson Ryan missed a couple of very gettable goals in the last quarter. And, you know, then you got down the other end. Van Ruin from the D's pops up and kicks three out of absolutely nowhere. So, look, it was, kudos to Melbourne there because they played very well. But I'm still pretty proud of the way we went about it. And I'm not too disappointed, despite the fact that we only have one win still.
Only one win, yeah. It's sad looking down there as a supporter, but you're right. Melbourne were clinical at the end, and they did what they're doing for the last 2 or 3 years, and they put their foot down when they need to, and they finish offside, which was sad for you, good for Melbourne supporters, yeah.
Absolutely, but I was going to say as well, the spectacle before the game is arguably my favourite part of the game. And for those if you didn't get to watch it, the Anzac Day. I know Anzac Day, Mark and Manny is the big one. It's the big occasion, but I love that the spectacle of Anzac Day Eve brings something a little bit different, where the stadium blacks out. You've got all the torches on. It's a different feel, but a similar feel at the same time, if that makes sense. So it's
of course, mate. I'm with you.
I'm glad that it's starting to sort of pick up in notability a little bit. It obviously won't take Anzac Day over, no question about that. But it's I love what it's doing, and I love this comment from Sayaf here as well about Dusty looking like he had his mojo back. If he kicked a little straighter in front of goal, everyone's talking about him being best on ground. He had 24, I think, and 1 goal 3. If he kicks 1 goal, 3 goals 1, it's a different story. So I agree. I think he looked like he had to get back.
And definitely, and about the spectacle, I know Anzac Day, the big day is on Tuesday, the Anzac Day, but everyone does its own thing. We did our own thing, and it is good, and it's one cause. I don't like causes at games. I don't like any of it. I think you should go to the football to watch the football, stuff everything. I don't want to think about nothing. But Anzac, I'm right behind what they do. I support the troops, man, what they did. So it was, it's good to see at every game.
Yeah, brilliant. It was a great night, mate. Great night. Great spectacle.
It's the first time I've heard you say something with common sense there, Rocco.
Yeah, all right.
Which is fantastic.
This is coming from you. This is coming from you, common sense. You want me to send you all the messages I get from you about you? Yeah,
That's
all
okay,
right,
mate.
Manny. You better shut up because if you keep going, I'll burn you again. So be careful. Always be careful which bear you poke, mate.
I just hope that Quinn Richmond don't start getting their mojo going, right? When it gets close to the dream time, mate, because we haven't beaten you guys for the last 15 years. So I please keep on playing shit football, but I could just see it. You'll go out there and smash us by 15 goals, mate.
Well, I tell you what, Geelong looked pretty shot early in the season. Then they came up against, I know West Coast was one, and I can't remember who the other one was. A couple of average teams, got a few big wins, and then found their mojo again. We've got Gold Coast and West Coast 2 weeks in a row, so we could find a little bit of form. Who knows?
I'm scared.
This is the thing with all of us, even us, like we got West Coast next week. So, you know, like you don't know, you get a win here, a win there, you get your mojo back. You don't know what's going to happen. You got to be careful about talking too soon in this game. What's
unless you're Nostradamus.
Background noise. I don't know what that means. All right, that's it. All right, we've done that. We'll go because I want to see what you two have got prepared for each other. So let's go to this.
Oh, there's not much from me, mate. There's not much from me.
There's going to be something from you, mate.
I want a little bit more fire than you had last week.
Nick is doing it. He's doing a little bit of this. So there was 13, 12, 90, 11, 11, 77. Let me just say you had a match lead of a high of 28 points at the 28-minute mark of the three-quarter. And from that point onwards, I think you kicked 3 points and Collingwood overran you. Were you at the game, Mark?
No, I wasn't. I actually had a bit of a barbecue at my place on Tuesday, Anzac Day, mate. Normal tradition that I normally do every year. But I said to one, congratulations anyway, Manny, on the win. But I said to one of my mates, I said, you know what? At the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
We needed. I said, look, we just got to kick one goal in the last quarter, just one goal, right? And the game is ours. If we don't kick that one goal, Collingwood's going to run on top of us, and they did. And you can see it happening because they've been doing it for the last probably 15 months now, where they play better from when they're behind. Where I reckon if Essendon were behind, it might have been a different story. But look, 3 quarters, mate, fantastic effort by the Bombers. Look, we should have really won the game, but you've got a lot of young players out there, and it's a big stadium, it's a big day, and they just did not compete in the last quarter. And I was devastated, mate. Like I said, I was pretty devastated, but I was still proud as well of the Bombers. I can only be. I can't. You know, we're in a situation now where we're sitting top 4 still. We could be in a bottom 4, like Richmond or something like that.
Three-quarter time and made the scum pies look good at least, and that's exactly. And this one here, Essendon lost it.
We did, mate.
Before you go, Manny, I just want to put up this one, and then you can go it. And Rocco Darcy's speech topped it all off, and I have to admit, for a dumbass Collingwood supporter, he actually made a fantastic speech and was very, very mature about the whole thing. Here, when Draper missed the goal, I was jumping out of my seat. That's a Collingwood supporter. Yeah, so that was probably the goal there, mate, the Draper goal.
Yeah, that was the key. Like when he got that free kick, I thought, look, honestly, I thought he was going to miss, and he did. But yeah, they're the goals that you just need to kick, settle a little bit. And mate, I was devastated. But just before we go on to Manny, I just want to quickly on the game just go to the BOGs again. So McGrath for Essendon, captain the side. Merritt would have been very handy on that day, but I'm going to give him three votes for that. Mason Redmond in the back line, fantastic again, very composed, and Langford, another 3 goals for the Bombers, mate. So at least,
what about Westerfield? Westerfield had a good game.
Setterfield, yeah. I think what happened.
You can't even get the name right.
Yeah,
Setterfield.
I don't know. And it was probably one of those games.
Can I just jump in there, man? And since you've mentioned Setterfield and Manny's, I know because I can read Manny like a book, and he's trying to do a big thing, but tell me why Setterfield had a good game, Manny.
Why?
Yeah.
Because he was competing. What do you mean he had?
Oh,
that's
22
touches.
Talking because he was competing.
22.
I'll give you some stats, man,
20,
and tell me
22,
if this
22.
is a good game.
Hey,
shut up.
22.
Shut up. You have no idea.
Touches. 22 touches he had.
Right?
22 touches.
All right, so is that what you're reading? 22 touches.
That's
your brain talking. Go. What about
What do you mean? Well, he had
Tell
22
me.
touches, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's
Is that
he had
it?
22 touches.
So we had some of our players who had fucking 41. It's got nothing to do with it. I'll give you some stats. 22 touches, yeah? Yeah, 22. 16 were uncontested. Disposal efficiency was 68%, right? He had 15 centre. He had 15 centre bounce, right? Attendances. He had 1 clearance. 1 clearance for the game. 1 clearance. Last quarter, he had 8 possessions. 7 were uncontested. He had an efficiency of 63%. 2 centre bounce attendances. He had 0 clearances. That's what you're talking about good. Manny, shut up. You got no idea. You're going to Westerfield. You called him Westerfield. Man,
he didn't have one of those games.
That's all he done. So shut up and let Mark talk.
I thought Mark finished.
That's all I finished.
Okay. Well,
Just talk about what you know, Manny. Don't try to get above your head.
Okay. Yeah. Let me first and foremost start by saying
63% efficiency.
Okay. You can sit there and read stats. I'm going to first and foremost start by saying that Darcy Moore, what a class act. What a class act. Every single Collingwood supporter was absolutely so proud of this bloke because he didn't want to talk about the game. He didn't want to sit there and talk about whether Collingwood won, whether Essendon lost. It was about the importance of the day, and all I can say is what a top job he did. Now,
what a great bloke.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the bloke who represents the team that most of us are in the Dole. Yeah, so there you go. Sometimes even the Dole gets some class acts. Cheers to you there, Mark. But all I want to say is that for the first 3 quarters, it was a competitive game. And I'll be honest with you, by the end of third quarter, I thought, you know what? We finished. The Bombers have got this. I honestly felt the Bombers had this. But all of a sudden, it's like my son said to me, he said, hey, Dad, I think the Bombers think we're only playing 3 quarters football. Because in that last quarter, they did nothing. They did absolutely nothing. And Collingwood just came on. I mean, they played one of the best last quarters of football I've seen in a very, very long time. And you could see they were hungry. That hunger was there. You can't, that was something that, you could just say, they just had that hunger. And
never say die. And and that's the beauty about Collingwood. They've got that kind of belief that, how far they're down in the last quarter, whatever the case may be, they're always going to fight back. And they seem to win a lot of these games. So it's a belief. Kudos to you, mate. But
look, it's a long season. It's a long season. And at the moment, we're doing, compared to what we did last week, we beat St Kilda, and the way we beat St Kilda in that last quarter, it was completely the opposite to what we did on yesterday. You guys need to at least, the way you guys are playing, and you got the players there. You guys need to at least make grand final this year. Otherwise, and I'm not going to banter too much, Manny, with you because I don't mind you as a bloke there, but if you don't make the grand final this year, what would
daisy picking bloody nerds?
Just be careful, mate. This is your opportunity to make the grand final. I'm not saying you're going to win it. Just make the grand final. If you don't, then Dacos will be going to Essendon next year in the mid-season.
Well, let me ask you. Talk about Nick Dacos. What a superstar. They're starting to compare him to Judd and Fife. He's an absolute. He's amazing, that bloke. He's amazing.
His brother's not too bad as well, mate. His brother's not too bad as well.
No, Josh did well. I mean, that's the thing. Josh had 30 touches. Nick had 40, but you don't talk about the 30 because this guy just seems to be dominating every week. Every week.
Be careful about comparing them to people who've actually won stuff, Manny.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only been 2 years too, so you just don't know.
Don't do what you do in the bedroom and pre-ejaculate early, right? Relax before you start burning these kids, mate. Just relax. He's doing well.
He's a superstar.
I can't believe how you're already starting the hype. You're a banana. Did you go to the game, Manny?
I'm sorry, Rocco. Did you want me to answer that question again?
Did you go to the game?
I didn't go to the game, no.
Why not?
Well, because I had to do the right thing and go to work.
Oh, all right. Did you have a membership to go to the game? Did you have a ticket to go to the game?
No, I didn't want to go to the game.
You could have given it to me.
Did you have a membership to give it? Like you could have given it to me. Did you have a membership to go?
Well, why would I give it to you who doesn't appreciate?
Did you have a membership to go?
I gave it to my son and my nephew.
All right. So you keep saying about this membership. What kind of membership have you got, Manny?
Come on, mate. I've already shown you my membership.
No, just tell me what kind. You told me you got a Legends membership. Is that correct?
Mate, we're not playing this game anymore.
Have you got a Legends membership?
Okay. We're not playing this membership anymore,
Have you got a Legends membership? Okay. Don't poke me because I'm telling you, I'll make you look silly. Have you got a Legends membership? Have you got one? Have you got one?
Hey, listen. You got the Maltese Terrier membership.
I'm going to ask you one more time. Have you got a Legends membership? You said you showed it to us. Have you got a Legends membership?
No, I don't.
You don't? You've got no membership?
I've got a membership, but I haven't got a Legends membership.
So which Legends membership have you got? Because there's 7. Which one have you got?
The Maltese Terrier one, the pet one.
There are 7 different Legends memberships. Which one have you got, Manny?
No, I haven't got a Legends membership.
Yes, you did, because that's the one you showed us.
Well, there you go. So, there you go.
Which legend is it? Which legend is it? Which legend is it? There's 7 types of legend membership. Which one is it?
Listen, can I first and foremost say...
I'm going to give you one more chance, Manny, to tell me the truth, and then I'm telling you, don't poke the bear. Have you got a membership, yes or no?
No, I haven't.
All right, good. I'm glad you're honest because I was about to burn you so bad, but at least you're honest and you saved yourself. Well done. About time Manny has done something.
Hey, Manny, if Collingwood win the grand final this year, I'll buy you a pet membership, all right?
Mate, can I...
That's a deal.
Sorry,
honestly, though, to buy a membership is you've got to be able to go to the games. I don't go to the games.
You don't, Manny. I spend more money on.
It's about supporting the club, Manny.
You don't go to the game. You can buy just the supporters.
Hang on.
Exactly right.
Hang on. So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. The moment I buy a jersey for my son, for my daughter, I buy a hat.
Nothing. That money's not going all to the club. Most of that goes to the AFL. Your membership goes to the club. So tell me something. Why can't you buy a supporters membership for under $100 and support the team that you talk shit about?
Because
something to think about.
How do you not have a membership? Genuine question. That's a genuine question. It's really ridiculous, man. You're really embarrassing everyone.
A membership doesn't make a supporter.
Remember this, the internet is forever, Manny. Forever.
Yeah, that's okay.
He's got a banana membership. That's it. You'll be my banana this week. Anyway, let's keep on going here. I just want to show you one more thing, Manny, before we keep on going. Right,
yeah,
I want to show you. No.
Oh, Quinn, what did you think about the game? Quinn, what did you think about the game?
Collingwood fans' disrespectful act instantly backfires. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
That was disgraceful,
What do you
mate.
say about it, Manny? Because
Banter.
you were the one who said that
Banter.
they should all respect everyone. What happened there?
Hang on. Don't put words in my mouth. What I said was, okay, now that you talk about that, it was, who was it that hit himself running into the goal post in the third quarter, the Essendon player, and it was the Collingwood player that reached out and helped him up.
Yeah.
Sportsmanship.
Right. Yep.
Sportsmanship, Rocco. Sportsmanship. Now, the spectator, look, Collingwood was losing at the time. Spectator was, he was being a passionate supporter. He decided all of a sudden to drop the footy. You know what? I think that's great banter. But having said that, well done to the player who scored the goal. And then all of a sudden, he just pointed out to him and said, you know what? Thanks for that, because that was an inspiration, and I scored a goal. So what do you think about that, Rocco? You happy with that?
No, what I think about that is your shit last week, and then when your Collingwood supporters do it, now you're trying to justify it. What happened to the sponsorship there? What's that? What's that? What's that?
Yeah, that's okay. I support it.
And especially being on Anzac Day.
A supporter can do that.
It's supposed to be about Anzac Day, about supporting everybody, but your members, because your club and your supporters are the worst people in the world. The worst, and you can't even do it. Anyway, I've had enough of you because you're giving me a headache.
We are the biggest, one of the biggest clubs. We are.
So what? You're the biggest bunch of tools.
Yeah.
That's what you are. You're the biggest bunch of tools who aren't members and talk rubbish and know nothing about stats. Because we've only got 9 minutes. Let's go on to the other games.
That's it. There's no more games.
What's that?
Tips. They're games. No other games are done.
No other games? What do you mean?
Well, we've got more games, have we?
No, that's it.
I thought we're going to the tips now.
That's what I just said.
Oh, I thought you should go into another game.
My God, I'm telling you, your brain must be mushed over yesterday. You still can't cop the 28 points up. Must have been jumping up and down. I can imagine you and your brother, Ponty. Dan, you and Dan must have been there doing high fives. And then every goal must have been a fucking.
Can I say that this boy had a great game? Hey, Ginnivan had a great game.
No, he had a shit game. Move on.
He had a great
Come on.
game. Great game.
Mark, stop drinking, mate. Sammy D. I love no regrets. What's he say? I love it when Rocco talks about the Pies. Just show how much he loves the Magpies. You have no idea. I hate everything black and white. I hate magpies. I even hate zebras. Fuck them. They're all a bunch of dogs. All right, let's get into these games before this is yours. Let's go. We've got 7 minutes. Let's get through these, and then we'll go through what the scoreboard is.
All righty, let's roll through. Like Rocco said, not long to go. Friday night, St Kilda versus Port Adelaide, Marvel Stadium. Big game to kick us off for the week. And I reckon being at Marvel, and I was there last week, I saw the way St Kilda used the ground. I reckon they'll get the chockies here against Port.
Yeah, St Kilda.
St Kilda.
Yeah, the Mighty Saints for me for some reason. Fuck a St Kilda.
I'm going to go Port. I reckon they're coming out and they're going to beat the fucking Mighty Saints who are on top of the ladder.
You got no idea.
Saints played some good football at the end, but they showed a few little things there I was a bit surprised about. So I reckon Port might come out and win, and why not? I've got to catch up. Next one.
Next game, I don't mind that, Rock. I wouldn't mind seeing St Kilda supporters be put down a little bit, but that's all right. We'll move on to Saturday afternoon at the Gabba. Brisbane take on Freo, and I just don't think there's any case for many teams against Brisbane at the Gabba, let alone Freo with the form they're in. So the Lions
Brisbane. Yeah, Brisbane.
Mark?
Yeah, Brisbane for me.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're absolutely right. They're very hard to beat over there. Next game.
All righty, the Battle of the Bridge, is that what they're calling it? The two Sydney teams, the Swans versus the Giants. And, geez, if there's ever a team that needed a bounce back, it's the Swans right now. And I reckon at the SCG, they'll get that done.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Sydney will bounce back.
I think so too, man. I'm telling you, Geelong have got their measure, man. If you look at the last two scores, the grand final and this game they had, it was almost identical. They just absolutely got smashed again. And this is one thing that Geelong do, and that's why they're dangerous. They put their foot on the throat when they have to. So very, very dangerous. All right, next one.
We're moving on. We got another Saturday game, Bulldogs versus Hawthorn at Marvel Stadium. You're probably going to go the Dogs this one, don't you? They're just playing some decent footy at the moment, and Hawthorn probably aren't tipped to do too much. So, yeah, for me, I'm going the Dogs.
Yeah, Bulldogs.
Yeah, Bulldogs for me as well, Quinny.
Yeah, I think
Rock,
so. I think the Bulldogs. I'd like to go the other way. I just can't see it happening. Next one.
Hawks did play well against Adelaide on the weekend, I will say that. But yeah, moving on from that one, we've got Melbourne versus North Melbourne MCG Saturday night. It's, pretty simple, I think. The answer's here. All Melbourne for us, I'm presuming.
Melbourne.
Yeah, the Demons for me.
Pretty keen to to go for North Melbourne. Yeah, next one.
Well, talking about games where a bounce back is very important, we've got Optus Stadium, West Coast take on your Blues, Rocco. 7:30, Optus Stadium, big occasion. Blues just need to win, and for that reason, I think they'll get the job done. That, and I don't rate West Coast too highly at all. So,
yeah, this was going to be my it was going to be my flip of the coin game, but geez, if Carlton don't win this, mate, fuck rock, mate, we're in trouble, mate.
There's going to be there'll be.
We're in trouble next week, mate. I'm not coming on the show. I'm not coming on the show next week if West Coast beat Carlton. All right.
If West Coast beat Carlton, I probably won't be here because I'll be at the front, fucking grabbing Sayers and all of them, and I'll be bloody kicking them out of the club, mate. Because you don't fucking go there and run it like a basket case. So, yeah, let's hope the Blues do it for everyone's sake.
Not for my sake. You guys are shit. I'm gonna say draw.
I was gonna say draw. I'm glad you bloody use your own brain and try to come up with something new. That's what I said last week. All right, let's go. Next one.
Alrighty, moving on. Mark, your boys, the Bombers, take on Geelong at the MCG 110. And I'm sorry, Mark, but I'm going the Cats this one. I jumped on the Essendon bandwagon on the weekend and it didn't pay off for me, so I'm going the Cats.
Nearly.
But yeah, Cats for me. I think they're back in form, Geelong.
Manny?
No, you know what? I'm going to go for the Bombers.
All right, Essendon and Geelong. All right, bit of a change there. Yeah, this is definitely a danger game. You lose this, you lose two in a row. It's all downhill from there, man. Yep. All right.
Yeah, 3 to 4 goals, 3 to 4 goals.
Moving on across the city to Marvel Stadium, the Tigers take on the Gold Coast Suns. And Rock, let me tell you, you talk about not rocking up next week if the Blues lose to West Coast. If we drop this game to the Suns, and our season is absolutely done. So it's one last chance for me to tip my boys with actual faith. So, yeah, I'm going Richmond for this one, but, geez, they better win.
Yeah, I agree, Richmond. Richmond.
Mate, Quinn, mate, if they don't get the 4 points here, mate.
Don't let us down,
I don't want to see you here next week.
Don't let us down.
I don't want to see you here next week. I don't want to see you on the show next week. Finished. Complete.
You won't see me. You won't see me.
Tigers must win, and it is. It's a bit like the Carlton one, but Tigers must win. All right, and there's one more game, isn't there?
There is. There's one more game. Manny, your boys, Adelaide Crows take on the Pies at Adelaide Oval, 4:40 on the Sunday afternoon. And this is a real danger game, Manny, because let me tell you, the Crows play some seriously good footy, especially over there at Adelaide Oval. As Rocco and I both know, we've already played them this year. They play great football there. So it's an absolute danger game. But in saying that, I'll be tipping the Pies because they also play good footy in Adelaide. Their record speaks for itself over there.
I was going to say, you're comparing two shit teams to Collingwood. So Magpies for me.
Flip of the coin game for me, mate. Flip of the coin.
For it.
Away. Collingwood.
Yeah!
Yeah, I'm also I'm going to go Adelaide. They're going to be hard to beat over there. And to tell you the truth, you played 3 really shit games, and again, Collingwood play one quarter of football, and that's not gonna do it over there. That will not do it over there, Manny.
Yeah,
and with great supporters they have got with this kind of shit and not buying memberships, you've got no chance.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at this. And Marco Manny's got 33. Rocco's coming up the rear with 30. And Quinny boy just hanging on.
I feel like my Tigers at the moment. Jeez.
Yeah, just hanging on. You got a really good one. I think you got 8 this week. I can't remember. I got it somewhere here. You got 8, I think, this week. So
And I really should have got the 9 if Essendon would have just won, mate. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
man, we're running out of time. I just want to say thanks to everyone. Now, everyone get down to 6 Northland, right? And everyone get on to now the next interview, which is 1AW Skywalker. We went to interview him. So we've got the big interview with Andrew Walker. Should have been Mark of the Year over your Carlisle. Your Carlisle, and he's actually watched the interview because he says a fantastic story about that mark and what happened just before.
Hey, before we go, what does the winner get? The person who wins with the most
Smith's voucher.
I don't know, but you know what? We'll work it out and we'll come up with something next week.
Yes, there's got to be a prize money for it.
Maybe we get the spectator. Maybe get some the fans who watch the show to give us some ideas.
All right, done deal. Send us some ideas and we'll work something out.
Whoever wins the tips.
All right, guys. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks. It was a big crowd tonight. We love yous. We thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.